Hold on a second. Just want to make sure this is working here. Don't want to miss anything on this show. Yeah, the show opened up with hold on a second. Am I able to do a brawl? God damn it. Oh, I forgot. There's no Brock Lesnar on this show. I keep forgetting that. Yeah, Brock Lesnar's not on this game. Alright, so Mike will get into my live stream, my Monday Night Raw review. This is Jacob Cass 2024. Gonna talk about WWE Monday Night Raw, the fallout from Night of Champions on Saturday, and then we'll talk about AEW Forbidden Door, and then we'll talk about NXT Great American Bash. That was also on Sunday. Now, I'm not going to talk about no TNA. But we are going to talk about Monday Night Raw first. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section below if y'all want to see this. My video is sponsored by PlayStation. It's sponsored by JD from New York, Salamander, Sound Off, Fight for Pro Wrestling, and other podcasters that I know of. Alright. I don't think we have Joe Henry on here, do we? No, we don't. Well, I probably gotta use someone else. I don't think we have... Wait, do we have Joe Henry on here? No, I don't think we do. I'll use Cody. Yeah, Joe Henry and Austin Theory. Judgment Day deliver a beat down the Eel Sky. That was a brawl, I think. We got Eel Sky and Liv Morgan. They had a bit of a brawl. Oh, damn it. I believe that was a brawl. Well, it didn't say that it was a match. But they did have a brawl. They did announce the match at SummerSlam, like we all knew it would happen. We're getting a rematch for the Women's World Championship between Io Sky and Liv Morgan. The Judgment did literally beat down the Io Sky, setting up that match. Joe Henry and the Three Profits irked Austin Theory with celebration. Joe Henry defeated Austin Theory. After that, we got LA Knight get distracted by Jey Uso and big loss to Jimmy Uso. Yeah, we got LA Knight and Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso got the win because Jey Uso got involved and distracted him, and Jimmy took advantage with a roll-up. After the match was over, then the Uso beat up LA Knight. So Sikoa comes out of nowhere. He spiked Jimmy Uso. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know why they continuing the Bloodline storyline. Why is Solo going after the Usos now? Is he trying to align with LA Knight or something? Because Solo didn't have the MRTs anymore? Because they broke up. Anyway, let's move on. We got a backstage segment or vignette with Lyra Valkyria explained why she attacked Bayley. Yes, he turned heel last week when she attacked Bayley. So those two aren't gonna be a team. But Lyra turned heel. Good. Gotta change the character. Nothing for her to do. Even though I don't think it's necessary, but I want to make her character much more interesting. Anyway, Danhausen used exploding briefcase on Dominic. Chad Gable defeated JD McDonough via submission. I thought that was a very good match. Chad Gable getting over. He's winning massive. They're building up Chad Gable. We got Raquel Rodriguez dismantles Maxine Dupree. What the hell? Alright. Was that really the main event? With Kel Rodriguez and Maxine Dupree? I think that was the last match. Yeah. Now Raquel got the victory against Maxine. And then there was a backstage segment where Austin Theory suggests a change for Maxine Dupree. Maybe leave Alpha Academy or something. Alright, so now what closed the show was this segment between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins to face Reigns at SummerSlam. They changed some back and forth. They changed their history. They changed that Reigns needs to beat Rollins because he'd never beaten him one-on-one for a championship match. Rollins said he owns him, and he's right. He took his wife, man. He helped Cody beat him at WrestleMania 40. He turned on him in the Shield. He cashed in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania all those years ago. He beat him at Money in the Bank 2016. Reigns never beaten Rollins one-on-one. So that's gonna go. Those are the only three matches. I mean, we'll open the show between Brock Lesnar and Open Family SummerSlam inside a Hell in a Cell match. Now we don't know if it's gonna be for the title. If Brock gonna beat Sammy whenever that happens, and Open and Brock be for the title, we just don't know. But Brock Lesnar and Open Family, that opened the show. It's been confirmed. We're getting it at SummerSlam inside Hell in a Cell. Io Sky and Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship will be at SummerSlam. And then we'll close the show with Reigns and Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Those are the three matches on Raw that's been confirmed for SummerSlam. Yeah. Okay. Now, for AEW Forbidden Door, thought the pay-per-view was kind of shit, but they had a great main event with a great triple threat match. Huge matches set, major swerve to SummerSlam. Alright. Might as well show y'all, there's Forbidden Door. Sami Zayn winning Century Short. Best triple threat main event. Will Ospreay and Zayn Monet. They won their matches. Was this match of the year? Will and Swerve deliver another instant classic. Shiv Meyer had defeated Mercedes. Team Bulls over to Team DCMJF. The NXT American Bass. So much wrestling. Was it a 10-10? Was it perfect? As for TNA, Nick Nemeth defeated Santana. Mason returned to TNA summary or Slammery. Okay. Vikingo headed to WWE NXT to defend the AAA Latin American Championship. Alright. A show saved by the triple main event. Jay Wyatt back. Well, we're going to. Okay. Cage, Adam Courtney and Christian Cage versus the Dawes. Shocking Tyler James on NXT, The Great American Bash. Kendall Grady cloned Lola Vice. She's new NXT Women's Championship. I forgot to mention Apollo Crews is on TNA. Apollo Crews is on TNA. Alright. Come on now.
Now I want to see Seth and Roman, and I want to dig into that history. We've been saying a lot actually about we complain a fair bit about 2025 and 2026 and things that aren't going well, right? Those things that don't go well, there are real.
Obviously, because you got the LA Knight stuff and the Solo Sikoa stuff going on. But
at least on the King of the Ring element, it seems like they will have to sort of declare. But Jesus Christ, man. Like, against Ray and Dragon Lee, to JD McDonald.
It's Sean Watson.
Set for Saturday night's main event. And with Dominic, they need to recover him while they can, man. Like, I just feel like they fumbled him all around. It should have been Dominic going babyface and Finn going heel last year. It really should have been. Maxine tried to apologize, but spoilers ahead. Cody is planned to face Sami Zayn for the WWE title in the very near future.
at 4.
Okay. Monday Night Raw was fine. Not perfect, but it was fine. Outside the opener and the main event.
Question.
Then why would Adam?
So I don't really. Or a retelling of the legacy of Roman Reigns. People would say that 1,000-day hold doesn't matter because there's a lot of interferences, a lot of the bloodline helping. But so far, Roman Reigns' second title hold with this heavyweight title, in terms of him having the second belt in his OTC type of life, it's been doing it clean. He's beaten CM Punk. He's beaten Jacob Fatu twice. If he beats Seth Rollins clean, that adds to his legacy, and I think that's what the WWE is in that mode to do, to add to the legacy of Roman Reigns by having him beat Seth Rollins clean.
Yes, I think so too, and I feel like it almost has to happen. Although part of me kind of, do you feel a little bad for Seth though, because that's kind of like his big thing that he has on Roman Reigns?
For sure. I still have very high delusion about a return of Moxley, just because there's so much history there too. And I know he will never leave AEW, but I think if you get this much juice out of Roman and Seth Rollins for 14 years, you can get this much story out of 2. With the 3 all together, you could get even more. And I know that's like, it's there. It's like I think it's the last, besides the Bloodline, it's like the last biggest story I've always feel that in the entire pro wrestling. Because, you know, Dean Ambrose is a character that got kicked out because of the Vince McMahon made him a rabid guy, like he had rabies and he was a Bane light type of thing. He got wronged so badly, but he just shows you like what he does with AEW would be insane. What if you could do that a little bit in WWE, just like a little bit of touch of it.
Although I really don't think we'll ever see Jon Moxley. Oh, I should correct myself. I don't think we'll see Jon Moxley back in WWE in the near future.
They keep mentioning his name a lot, which surprises me. Like, Rollins loves to throw in. We're probably going to get a lot of Jon Moxley references from here until SummerSlam. I bet you we get.
They didn't really mention him at all today, though.
Not today, but there will in the future. Rollins loves saying it. Loves saying Mox.
Thank you, JM. All right, we got the Juan G show here. Says it's definitely a King in the Bank situation. I don't know anymore. I thought I understood. Apparently I didn't. Thank you, the Juan G show. We got IG and Sucho here. It says, what if Oba's cashes in his title match with after whoever main events night 2, almost like TNA Carter Shot Gauntlet thing that they do. Yeah, I don't think they do that. They would let us know ahead of time if they were doing something like that.
Rules.
We know the rules, but again, they would bend the rules for Oba and for Brock. They would.
No, the rules bending is putting the title on Brock before SummerSlam by getting Sami Zayn in his first title defense on a major PLE and him losing, because hey, can I paint you a crazy picture? They want to do this in a pre-tape, but I'm going to put this out in the universe because I'm the agent of chaos. It's pre-taped. Bigger money draw than Oba versus Roman.
Honestly,
Brock versus Gunther. Or
now
Oba,
I think
Oba
I know why Triple H said what he said in that interview.
Yeah, because we sat and watched a month of a tournament happen, cheering on Oba to get to the King of the Ring, to become King of the Ring, to challenge someone at SummerSlam. And then when Brock never showed up, we're like, oh shit, he's actually going to be able to challenge someone openly at SummerSlam. And then Brock shows up, and then Oba goes, forget all that, I want Brock.
Mind you, this is also with an opponent that was supposedly retiring at WrestleMania.
Turn off your brain. Why do you think they don't do any more press junkets? What would you ask them?
Dave Costier says, can you imagine if Will won the Owen and then said titles will always be there? I'll go to that later. Made Oba look like such a goof. Hell in a Cell will rock and is the right move. Just don't put Oba in King of the Ring. Hell in a Cell will be awesome. I'm very much excited for that match, and I'm trying not to get my excitement to go down on that match, but it did just a little bit, not just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. But then also,
would it be back up if it was for the title?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because then I'd be like, oh okay, it all worked out in the end. I mean, this is scripted entertainment, guys. Sancho, you didn't even say congratulations.
I streamed for 15 hours, Denise. Good-looking people get cursed.
Okay. Big Taro here says, but that was Danhausen's list to be world champion. Was it on his list when he did that whole thing?
You got a blimp?
Ooh, maybe it will happen.
Face on a truck. A blip. And world Danhausen.
You know what? I better say yes because I don't want to get cursed for saying no.
Come on. You believe in that stuff. Your last name's Salcedo. Of course you do.
Yeah. We got Nick McCarthy here who says LA Knight is a B-plus player forever.
So was Sami Zayn, baby. He's a champion.
And on that note, thank you, Nick. All right, thank you to everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you all on the next one. Bye, everyone.
In a world built for soldiers, 3 new offering. Make all this be inside Hell in a Cell. And so I kind of looked at it and said, realistically, okay, if you want to set up Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, you've got 14 plus years worth of history to draw from. Right? It is certainly a story that is rich with history between the two of them. Seth Rollins also, who made the same point in his promo tonight, did not lose the World Heavyweight Championship last year, right? He was stripped of the title because of an injury, and therefore he never technically got beat for the belt. So the natural story when he eventually came back was chasing for the title that he never lost. All of that makes sense. So when I saw Braun Breaker and I saw Seth Rollins on opposite ends of the bracket in the King of the Ring tournament, naturally I said, well, if they're going to set up Roman and Seth for SummerSlam, they could just build to a Seth Rollins Braun Breaker final in the King of the Ring tournament. They could blow off their feud there in a match that has big stakes on the line, because we know that the winner of the King of the Ring, they've established the winner of the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring will go on to challenge for the championship of their choosing at SummerSlam. And so it all seemed to align and make sense, right? Predictable, sure. But that would have made a whole lot of sense. Obafemi being in the King of the Ring, The issues with Brock Lesnar coming back to screw Obafemi out of the crown, sure, predictable, but I was looking at it and going, okay, you got to do part 3, that's how you get to it. You have him screw Oba out of the crown. Oba now is just infuriated. You've taken something away from him that was within his grasp, and you blow it off at SummerSlam. And if that's how they wanted to set up this SummerSlam card, you know what? That would have made a lot of sense to me. Instead, they went a completely different way with it, where they bounced Seth Rollins out of the first round, and they bounced Braun Breaker out of the first round. All in the name of doing a steel cage match between them on that show that we saw on Saturday in Riyadh. They got bounced out of this tournament early, and so they ended up building to a final between Obafemi and Jey Uso, which is a final that very few, I don't say nobody asked for, right? There's always someone out there, but I'm going to say nobody asked for a final this year of Obafemi and Jey Uso. Now, it could have gone a very different way on Saturday. I'm very happy that it didn't. I'm very happy that Obafemi beat Jey Uso, and he won the crown and not the other way around. But I'm watching this show tonight, and I see Obafemi out there with Brock Lesnar, who returned on the show tonight. We were all waiting for him to show up during the tournament. He waited until after the tournament was over to finally come back. And by the time their segment was over at the top of the show, we had a major match made for SummerSlam this year. It will be Brock Lesnar and Obafemi Part 3 in Minnesota at SummerSlam inside Hell in a Cell. Huge match. And a great way to blow off a feud. It feels like this is a feud worthy of a Hell in a Cell blow-off. I don't even remember the last time we had a Hell in a Cell match. It's got to be at least a couple of years. And it's been even longer than that since we've seen Brock Lesnar in one. Obafemi is having himself quite the year. Debuts on the main roster, beats Brock Lesnar in his first WrestleMania, wins the King of the Ring his first time out. Now he's already getting his first Hell in a Cell match, right? Things are progressing nicely for Obafemi. That's a major match to do on that show. And it's probably going to be a great match, too. They haven't spent too much time in the ring together, but the 2 matches they've had have been just smash mouth, nonstop, exciting, right? Finisher spam in the last match, sure. But they've been fun, right? And I have no doubt in my mind that Hell in a Cell is going to be fun as well. Thank you, Punk and Drew. Okay, so 2 years ago. That was the last time we had a Hell in a Cell. But what a fucking Hell in a Cell match that was, too. Punk and Drew. That was 2024. Thank you. So I'm fine with the idea of them doing a Hell in a Cell match. That's a major attraction. That's going to sell some tickets, right? Which is the name of the game still. May not be the most important metric anymore like it used to be, but you still want to sell tickets to these shows, right? Tickets is still a major metric when it comes to how well business is doing. That will sell some tickets at SummerSlam. But in order to do this, Obafemi had to take his guaranteed championship match at SummerSlam, which is the second biggest event of the year. They get a big stadium show, right? 50,000 people. Probably not quite, but let's just say 50,000 people. And he's taking his championship match based on what we heard tonight, and the announcers back this up. And he is voluntarily putting his guaranteed shot aside, I guess for a rainy day. And instead, it's more important to him to squash this beef with Brock. And so instead of a title match, he's going to do Hell in a Cell. And I could sit here and tell you how ridiculous this sounds, of course, because we just sat through an entire fucking month of tournament matches to build to a finals where the winner would be challenging for a world championship at SummerSlam. And now in this case, that will no longer be happening. So is that stupid? Yes, it's very stupid. What makes it even dumber, though, if you want to really kind of think about this logically, is the fact that you have a 2-night SummerSlam. Now, I'm not saying that a perfect scenario would be to have Oba go in there and wrestle twice, but you have Obafemi saying, you know what, we're going to put that on the side. I gotta squash this. I gotta take care of this guy once and for all, right? On a show where you have 2 nights. So you don't really have to put your championship match aside. And maybe you look at it and you go, yeah, but you know what? He's going to be getting ready for Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell. He's not going to be in the right frame of mind. If he wants to win a world championship, you've got to be laser focused on the champion. It's like, okay. But you also have a show coming up before SummerSlam. Since now everything's out the window, apparently, and you can cash in your title shot anytime you want to, they do have an important show coming up at Madison Square Garden in a few weeks where, logically, if he wanted to, he could kind of say, hey, let me get my title match on that show. And I understand the reasons why that's not going to happen, because there's going to be a lot of big names, including Brock Lesnar, who are probably not going to be on that show. But it just, it makes it, you look at it and it just makes you shake your head. Why did they even have Obafemi in this tournament to begin with? If we were just going to get to the same place anyway, where we're getting Oba in a non-title situation against Brock Lesnar, which we all knew we were going to get, and Roman Reigns against Seth Rollins. They were in the tournament. You could have built the tournament to a finale that Seth Rollins wins, and that's how he gets his championship match at SummerSlam. He chooses Roman, and here's why. And Seth went out there tonight in the main event segment when he confronted Roman and cut the mother of all promos. He laid it all out for the entire world, the entire history between them. It all goes back to 2014 when he put that chair in Roman's back. And every time in a major match of any significance for any championship, when these two found themselves in the ring together, or even not for a championship, but in the night one main event last year of WrestleMania, Seth Rollins every single time has proven to be the itch that Roman Reigns cannot scratch. He has been a thorn in this man's side. He has been a pain in this man's ass. And so Roman Reigns is in the same situation that Seth Rollins is in, where they're closer to the end than the beginning, and this may be their last shot. This may be their final dance together. Of course, this is WWE, so I'm sure it won't be. But this could be the last opportunity that Roman has to finally put this man down, the one guy that he has not been able to get rid of, the one man he has not been able to figure out. Right? It's a simple story. It makes sense. Like I said, there's a lot of history there, and I'm sure they're going to go out there and they're going to have a really good match. But I just cannot shake this feeling that we just sat through a King of the Ring tournament, and King of the Ring is near and dear to me, and maybe it shouldn't be because, there's been a lot of crap over the years when it comes to King of the Ring. Poor tournaments, poor finals. It's not always great. But I've been a big fan of King of the Ring since the moment they brought it to pay-per-view back in '93. And so I love when they brought it back with that stipulation that the winner gets a championship match at SummerSlam, right? It's very similar to the Rumble. The Rumble winner gets to go on to the main event of WrestleMania. And so now, it's like everything's up in the air now. Hell, what's stopping the Royal Rumble winner from doing the same thing and saying, you know what, I think I could get my championship match some other time. I got bigger business to deal with this guy over here. It's just preposterous. It's just preposterous. So Obafemi will not be challenging for a championship at SummerSlam. Roman Reigns will defend his title against Seth Rollins. Those were the two major matches that were confirmed for SummerSlam. We already had one confirmed the other night. Io Sky made her choice instantly. Night of Champions, she said, Liv Morgan, who she just beat, I'm coming after you, and I want that Women's World Championship. So we have 3 matches now that are confirmed for SummerSlam, with a 4th that is likely to happen, because we got an update on the show tonight. For those of you who may have missed it, they shot an angle on social media after Night of Champions on Saturday, where Gunther confronted Nick Aldis in the back, the general manager of SmackDown. He was very upset about what happened, and Gunther dropped an F-bomb on him. They had to be pulled apart. Nick Aldis is on administrative leave. So for the foreseeable future, Adam Pearce is going to be handling both Raw and SmackDown. He will be handling the GM duties for both shows, which can only mean one thing. Why would Nick Aldis be placed on administrative leave? Because he's finally going to wrestle. And I'm sure he's been waiting a very long time for this opportunity, probably since the moment he put pen to paper and signed with WWE. He's wanted to get in the ring. He's a wrestler. He wants to wrestle. And it feels like he's finally going to probably, have his chance to do so at SummerSlam against Gunther. But boy, you look at where Gunther was at the beginning of this year, and if this is going to be what they have in mind for him at SummerSlam, what a fall. What a fall off for this guy from the beginning of the year. By the way, I'm mentioning all this championship stuff. Sami Zayn is the new WWE champion. He may well be out there in the middle of the ring in Atlantic City right now, because the reason Raw aired early tonight, 6 p.m. start, is because they're taping SmackDown. As we speak, SmackDown is in progress because they want to give all the talent off for July 4th at the end of the week. So they're taping SmackDown right now. We had Jey Uso, who lost in the King of the Ring fight. And by the way, before I even go on, can I address the people that I saw in my mentions before I went live who were floating the idea that, well, Since Oba is foregoing his championship match for now, then the person who should get the championship match at SummerSlam is the runner-up. It's the person who lost to Obafemi at SummerSlam. And I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, why would you even suggest that? Why would you even put that out into the world? Why would you put that out into the atmosphere? Nobody wants to see that. It was bad enough the prospect that Jey Uso was going to win King of the Ring and then challenge Roman or challenge Cody at SummerSlam. Jey Uso lost. And there are people who are suggesting, well, they should have just gone with Jey anyway because he was the runner-up. So Jey Uso will get a title match after having lost in the King of the Ring. Holy shit, can we please put this shit to bed? But I bring up Jey Uso because Jey told Jacob Fatu tonight on the show that Sami Zayn is the new WWE champion, and so Jacob's going to SmackDown to deal with the Solo Sikoa problem. And Jey said, you know what, I think I'll be there too. I'm going to confront Sami because I think I should be next in line for a shot at the championship. Can you imagine? They end up getting what they want anyway. Obafemi was in the tour. Here's what I think happened here. I have a theory about this. Of course, they could have avoided all of this by just not putting Oba in the King of the Ring to begin with. But my theory about this is they put him in the King of the Ring. They did not want to beat him. Right? They wanted to literally crown Obafemi as the King of the Ring. But they didn't want to give him a championship match just yet. Maybe they want to save it for WrestleMania. Maybe they want him to marinate a little bit more. So how do we do this? How do we give him a win and crown him king, but not give him the title shot? Well, here you go. They came up with a way to do it. And instead, we may be looking at a situation potentially where Oba is not getting a title shot at SummerSlam, but Jey Uso is. Now, do I think that Jey Uso will be the one challenging for the WWE title at Summer? I sure as fuck hope not. I don't. Maybe they would do something like Jey and Sami on a Saturday night's main event. I don't see that being the SummerSlam match, but even the idea of it is just so fucking ridiculous to me. Don't think that the thought didn't cross my mind watching this, knowing that they were taping television in this building for both shows, that Sami Zayn would come out after Raw ended, come out on SmackDown and put out some sort of open challenge where Brock Lesnar was in the same fucking building. Don't think that thought didn't cross my mind for a moment. But then I thought to myself, is Brock Lesnar really going to come out for the opening segment on Raw and hang around for that long? He's already home. I'm sure he's already home by now. He was already home before Roman Reigns hit the ring for the closing segment on the show tonight. I did have a thought, though, of actually to go back to Gunther and Aldis for a second. Gunther is still, calling himself the career killer. This may be the one and only match. If they do this match, this may be the one and only match that Nick Aldis has. And they may have Gunther kill his career, his one match in WWE. Those are the big developments on the show, but there was more that happened, and we get to talk about it. This is your Monday Night Raw review for the final time in the month of June. It is June 29th, and now that I say that date out loud, do you know what happened on this date in 1998? Right in the thick of the Attitude Era? This was a big deal. This is a big Raw on June 29th. I'm pretty sure it was 1998, the night after the King of the Ring, when Kane beat Austin to win the championship. On Raw 24 hours later, Kane's run came to an end. Sami Zayn better be taking notes. He better make himself scarce on SmackDown tonight. But on this night, was it 28 years ago? Steve Austin beat Kane to win back the WWE Championship, and the building went wild. I remember there being a sign. That was in the Gund Arena in Cleveland. And I know that because there was a person holding a sign in the crowd that said, "Send help, the Gund is on fire." And indeed, the Gund was on fire. Atlantic City was not. Definitely not. Atlantic City was not on fire tonight for this show. Like and subscribe. Super chats are open. Thank you for joining me a little bit earlier than usual here tonight to the 1,200 plus and growing on a Monday night. I appreciate you guys. Super chats are open as well. And we have a little bonus goal going in the chat. We're almost halfway there, which is awesome. And we're going to be doing Be the Booker, possibly, depending on what the wheel says here. I'll bring the wheel up here in a second. I did want to show you guys one thing before we put the wheel up. I want to put this photo up on the screen. I noticed this during Raw. This popped up on my timeline. This is not AI or photoshopped. That is a photo that John Cena posted on his X account and I assume maybe also his, actually probably not on his Instagram, but he posted this on his X account. That is his doctor that has helped him regrow his hair, which is a little odd because in this photo, as you can see, John Cena is bald. And apparently he's having whatever this next procedure is in his hair journey. I guess it required him to go bald for it. I have not seen bald Cena, I don't think, since the prototype days in OVW, so it was a little jarring seeing this image. But I'm looking at this and I said to myself, I go, this is not a bad look. He should have gone bald for the heel run last year. We could have gotten bald John Cena as a heel. I don't know why he didn't think of it then. But anyway, so this is what John Cena looks like right now, and I'm sure soon he'll have a brand new head of hair. But in the meantime, you can enjoy bald John Cena. He thought it was AI, says Isaiah. I thought so too until I saw that it came from John Cena himself. All right, let's bring up the wheel here. See what we're spinning for tonight. How many likes do we need to do Be the Booker? Oh, no. We got to give this a manly spin. We got to give it a real spin. There we go. What are we looking at here? We're looking at 600. That's what we're looking at. All right, we're looking at 600 likes. We're at 318. Can we do it? Can we pull it out? You guys can make that happen. Thank you, by the way, for hanging out with me on Saturday for the Night of Champions review. I thought we covered a lot of ground there and had a lot of fun. So I thank you for that. Ricky says, might cut my hair bald. Well, you don't cut your hair bald. You shave your head bald. And I'm not going to give you advice one way or the other. You do whatever makes you happy. So after highlights from Night of Champions opened the show tonight, Obafemi, the king of the ring, strutted his way down to the ring to open things up here tonight. And he said he got a great reaction from the crowd in Atlantic City. And he said, oh wait, we have an update here. We have breaking news. Breaking news from Scorpion Deathlock in the chat. Forbidden Door has just ended. Okay, great. I was wondering if it was over yet or not. Apparently Forbidden Door just ended. It just went off the air. Thank you, Scorpion Deathlock, for the update. It's good to know. Oba said that that's a reaction that is befitting of a ruler, but now the fans have to give him a reception befitting of a king. And so they did. He said destiny is not done with him yet, though. He has a choice to make. But before he can make that choice, we heard Brock Lesnar's music. And I thought to myself, boy, this escalated quickly. They're going right to Final Jeopardy here. Out comes Brock Lesnar. He's got Paul Heyman with him. We have not seen Paul Heyman since he was speared through the barricade by Braun Breaker. Or technically, we haven't seen him since he sat down with Chris Van Vliet. He looked pretty good in that interview. That was only a few weeks ago, although I don't know when they recorded that. So he circled the ring, as he usually does. He climbed inside, and he gave Oba a very happy, sarcastic intro as the new king. Then he apologized, and he said he did not say Brie mode, although I would pay good money for Brock Lesnar to come out and scream Brie mode. Wouldn't that be said? That would go down as truly one of the greatest moments in Monday Night Raw history if that ever happened. Just reaches down deep within his soul, puts his arms out and just screams fucking Brie mode, and then just leaves. Rips his pants again and then leaves. But he was very open and honest here in this segment. He said the most honest thing that he's probably ever said. He told Oba, he goes, he hasn't watched the show. He said, I apologize, but I haven't watched the show. But he congratulated Oba. And he also pointed out that he, too, won King of the Ring once before. And Paul tells him that Oba has a big decision to make. Now, first of all, can you blame Brock for not watching the show? He's admitted this on the actual television show before. This is not the first time that Brock Lesnar has gone on TV and said, I don't watch the show. I appreciate the honesty. I do. I actually am quite envious of him. But Brock is not the one who has to sit here every single week and talk about this and dissect it and analyze and discuss with all of you. Brock Lesnar can't be bothered with any of that shit. But because he doesn't watch the show, he's been brought up to speed on things by Paul Heyman. Paul keeps him in the loop. And Paul tells him that Oba has a big decision to make. He also tells him that Oba has been calling him names. Take his place. Which, to believe Nick Khan, was the plan all along. Everything went exactly according to the way that we wanted it to. Because we're all geniuses. Look at the big brain on these guys. So basically we have sort of a version of that here. Obviously, this is going to be a very big match on that show. And I think it's going to be a great match. I don't know if it's going to be Brock Lesnar's final match. I'm sure some people will look at this and go, well, this is potentially a much bigger deal, right? To be able to go down as the man who, retired Brock Lesnar. After what we saw at WrestleMania, though, you know what? Guaranteed that he will be the song that got him over. And later in the year, beat John Cena and then beat AJ Styles, that he would be wrestling the general manager at SummerSlam. I would.
We're back with the replay. This is a big game.
Championship on the line, and I need to. Let's. Yes, Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Monday evening. Obafemi, who should have never been there to begin with, in the finals of the men's King of the Ring tournament. Why did I say Obafemi should have never been there? Well, with the way things played out tonight, I don't even know why we had a King of the Ring. As soon as Oba won the King of the Ring, everybody was like, he's got to go for Roman. He's got to go for Roman. He's going to challenge Roman. He's got to beat Roman. Then this idea that, he'll wrestle Brock Lesnar on night 1 and then wrestle Roman on night 2. Bro, Oba just got here 7 months ago. Let's slow shit down. If we make Obafemi the WWE champion now, where do we go? Who does he wrestle? Who does he defend the championship against? What does his title reign look like? We can't crown Obafemi as the WWE champion, having him beat Roman Reigns, if there's no plan or no action in place. Something like that, a decision like that, needs heavy planning, and it needs a very, very carefully constructed roadmap. I all understand that everybody wants the future to take front and center in WWE. I understand that there may be some people that are bored of Roman Reigns and the bloodline and Roman Reigns being the world champion again. I get it, and it's completely understandable. It's too soon. Number one, he was never going to wrestle 2 times in one night, especially against Lesnar and Reigns, and beat Lesnar and then beat Reigns. Bro, this ain't a fucking video game. It's not. I don't understand why people are so obsessed with this line of thinking. You heard it from one fucking idiot in the community, and everybody ran with it. Whoever told you that should be fucking blackballed out of the community, because he's an idiot. I understand that everybody wanted that specific situation to happen, but that specific situation never made any sense, because I said verbatim, you'd be splitting your time between Oba and Lesnar and then Oba and Roman, when Oba and Roman deserves all your attention, because that theoretically is the main event and should be treated as the main event. Secondly, I don't know why. And this is really where everybody's lack of intelligence starts to show. I don't know why anybody expected Roman Reigns to lose the WWE World Heavyweight Championship He won it in April. May, June, July, August. You expect Roman Reigns to have a mediocre title run with the World Heavyweight Championship where he's wrestled Jacob Fatu twice. You want him to lose the championship. Just like that. Man, what a unceremonious title run that would be. This is a guy that held the first belt that he held 1,300 days. The other belt. The other world championship. 1,300 days. 4 years. Yet you want him to lose the World Heavyweight Championship because Obafemi's the new big guy in town. Bro, I don't know if you're watching the same show that we are, but the Bloodline run this shit. Roman ain't losing the championship at least till WrestleMania, where it should be against Obafemi. This other notion, because we got a couple of situations happening on Saturday afternoon. Oba won the King of the Ring. Sami Zayn won the WWE Championship from Cody Rhodes and Gunther, pinning Cody Rhodes. The other narrative that I saw, and I'm swiftly benching people because it's just so outlandishly fucking retarded that I want nothing to do with these people or the discussion that they may bring to the table. Apparently, everybody thinks that Sami Zayn winning the WWE Championship is going to result in Sami Zayn putting the WWE Championship on the line against Brock Lesnar at Saturday night's main event. Why on fucking God's green would that ever happen? Why do you think, of all the situations that we have in front of us for SummerSlam, why do you think that makes sense? How do you make sense out of that? Lesnar shows up when he wants, one time every couple of months for a match. Every few months, never mind a couple of months, every few months. And you think he's going to show up at Madison Square Garden and beat Sami Zayn out of nowhere for no reason, no story, no logistical fucking reason, and win the WWE Championship from Sami Zayn? I don't know where you heard that one from. I don't know who you heard that one from, but you can personally go back to who you heard that from and tell them that JD from New York told him that he's a fucking idiot. Holy shit. If there aren't lemmings in the community that just fucking follow something and then right off the cliff they go, how does that make sense? It doesn't. It doesn't. Give me a break. I commend WWE for keeping us on our toes. I think everybody expected Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi at some point between now and SummerSlam, whether it happened on Raw tonight, at Madison Square Garden, or at SummerSlam. I don't think anybody predicted that WWE would go a big step further and give us the match at SummerSlam inside a Hell in a Cell. But we have one problem. We have one big problem. Oba is the king of the ring. Oba is owed a championship match at SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar comes out and acts very cordial with Obafemi. Wants to shake his hand. Oba has no desire to shake Brock's hand. Brock is joking around, claiming that he doesn't watch the show, but I heard from Paul Heyman that you called me a coward and you called me a bitch. And then he kicks him in the balls. Kicks him in the dick. Brock Lesnar walks away, proving that he is a coward. Obafemi gets on the microphone, wants a match, calls him out for a match at SummerSlam. All right, well, moments ago, you just showed everybody that you're the king of the ring and that you got a decision to make over what championship you're going to choose at SummerSlam. Roman Reigns in the World Heavyweight Championship or Sami Zayn in the WWE Championship. To me, the option is very simple for Obafemi. You go after the biggest prize in the industry, which is the WWE title. You go after Sami Zayn, because who wants to wrestle Roman Reigns and 3 other Samoans? We went through 1,400 days of Roman Reigns as World Heavyweight Champion, WWE Undisputed Champion. Nobody was able to take him and the family down in that stretch. You go and take the guaranteed route, which is Sami Zayn in the WWE Championship. So before Lesnar even got out there, the option was very easy for Obafemi. Oh, but he was supposed to challenge Roman Reigns. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. I don't know if you guys are watching the show with eyes wide open. It was always supposed to be Seth Rollins. I mean, if you've been watching my show, watching my streams, listening to my podcast, listening to my audio, you would have heard me say Rollins and Reigns is your SummerSlam main event. Nothing else made sense on the show. As soon as Rollins got back, it was always destined to be Rollins and Reigns. I don't know why anybody thought WWE was going to deviate away from Seth Rollins' SummerSlam plans. I ask you, if it didn't happen the way that it did tonight, where do you put Seth Rollins on SummerSlam? Nothing else makes sense. It's either he gets the match with Roman or he doesn't get a match at all. Everybody wanted what they wanted to happen. I told you exactly what was going to happen. Said Sami Zayn should win the WWE Championship. He did. I said Seth for weeks and months. I said Seth Rollins was going to get the SummerSlam main event against Roman Reigns. He did, and he did get it tonight. Official. And Oba's getting Brock. The problem is, WWE lied to you for 4 weeks. WWE gaslighted you for 4 weeks. They gave you television with a tournament playing out right before us, with a final taking place in Saudi Arabia on Saturday afternoon, and the winner is supposed to get a championship match at SummerSlam. The winner of the tournament is not getting a match at SummerSlam and has opted to bypass his championship match to finish his feud with Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell, which is absolutely going to main event night 1. The problem lies within. You made King of the Ring worthless. You made King of the Ring meaningless. Now King of the Ring, because he's not cashing in at SummerSlam, is basically Money in the Bank 2.0. He gets to call his championship match whenever he wants. So what's the difference at this stage right now, when I'm talking directly to you in front of this camera? What is the difference now between the King of the Ring and the Money in the Bank contract? There is none. Because he opted to bypass his championship match and now use it as a cash-in because it's always going to be there. That's not what the King of the Ring tournament, that's not what winning the King of the Ring is all about. You are to get a championship match at SummerSlam guaranteed against a champion of your choosing. But he's opted to go against Brock Lesnar without a championship on the line. And I need to stress this enough, again, to you, because there's going to be some fucking idiot in the chat saying, well, what if Brock Lesnar wins the WWE Championship? No, it's not going to work out that way. You're going to get Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship, and you're going to shut the fuck up and like it, says Triple H. Which is something I will talk about in a little bit, because that's also fucking just mind-numbingly fucking dumb. The King of the Ring now is meaningless. The King of the Ring is basically Money in the Bank 2.0. We got 2 Money in the Banks running around, basically next to each other. We're going to be going into August, and this guy's got a guaranteed contract. He can cash in at any time now because he's opted not to take this match at SummerSlam. Then we roll into October, and someone's going to win the actual Money in the Bank briefcase and treat it the same way that Oba's treating the crown. This creative team, this WWE creative team, may be some of the worst in the entire business. They may be some of the worst creative writers that I've been doing this since 2012, bro. We haven't hit it big until maybe 7 years ago. And now we're one of the most powerful voices in the game. That's not an actual pro wrestling podcast. This is a fan-made, fan-produced podcast. But our voice stretches deep. This is some of the worst creative writing. These are some of the worst creative writers in all of the industry. I don't know why we opted to go with Obafemi winning the King of the Ring if you were only going to bypass his championship match at SummerSlam to give him a match with Brock Lesnar. I said it then, and I'm going to say it now. Why didn't Brock Lesnar cost Obafemi his semifinal match against Braun Breaker? I don't understand it. I don't really get it. It was right there. It was right there. But WWE is so petrified, they are so scared to book a match like that and then have someone win or lose. What you theoretically did is get us to the same place I predicted 5 weeks ago, but you opted to bypass the King of the Ring and make it fucking meaningless. We're right back to the same spot that we were in 5 weeks ago when everybody predicted this tournament. But Triple H and his fucking genius writing team, they are so fucking petrified and they are so obsessed with proving the internet wrong that they took the most fucking retarded and convoluted way to get us to where we needed to go, and they tried to make things unpredictable. We can't have the fans predicting every move we're gonna make. We'll show them, pal. So you opted to ruin the prestige and the meaning of winning King of the Ring. The modern day version, anyway, of King of the Ring. We're right back to where we said it should have gone anyway. Everybody expected Lesnar versus Obafemi. We got it. But why did he need to win King of the Ring and bypass his championship match to get there? Why couldn't Brock Lesnar show up after Oba won his first round match, which should have been a slam dunk? You put him in the ring against Braun Breaker in the semifinals. Not only do you get two future pieces of the company in the ring together to create excitement about the future, this is a WrestleMania main event fucking prediction right here. You're getting a taste of what's to come in the next 5 years. Paul Heyman was out. Paul Heyman wasn't even there. Why couldn't you give me Oba and Braun with Brock Lesnar ruining Oba's chances, causing a count out? Or, you know, I understand you don't want to pin Obafemi. Why couldn't that happen there? Getting Braun and Seth in the finals, like I had predicted. You know, the Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins match in the finals that we got anyway at Crown Jewel, at Night of Champions. They put them in a steel cage match. They ended up working the show together anyway. Why didn't we just put them in the King of the Ring final if we were only going to do that match anyway, minus the steel cage? Could have been the blow-off to their feud. It could have actually been a lot more meaningful and a lot more powerful if the finals took place between Rollins and Breaker, and Oba would have been fucked over by Brock Lesnar, which would then bring us to tonight. Rollins would beat Braun Breaker, which he did at Night of Champions. Rollins would then call out Roman Reigns to get a championship match at SummerSlam, which he did tonight. And then Brock and Oba could have a match at SummerSlam, which Oba challenged him tonight, like the way it ended up. But they decided to turn the King of the Ring crown and the King of the Ring tournament into a de facto Money in the Bank contract. Chat. There's legitimately nobody watching me right now that can refute anything I said. Brock Lesnar, Obafemi didn't need the King of the Ring to go to Oba to make happen. Why Why did they give him the King of the Ring? Why did they put him in the tournament? To make him win it, if this was the end result. Oh, we had nothing else for him to do. Oh, there was nothing else for him to do on Monday Night Raw. There was nobody else for him to wrestle in the time being. Bro, I don't want to hear these excuses. You're fucking paid 6 figures to creatively write for the biggest pro wrestling company in the fucking world. And you're telling me that you don't have anybody for Obafemi to wrestle between then and now. You created this problem all on your own. You want him to be the big bad fucking new guy in town that can't be beaten. This is what you get. There are pros and cons to booking someone like Obafemi. It's not my fucking job as a podcaster or a YouTube content creator to come up with fucking people for Obafemi to fucking squash every week. WWE took the longest convoluted road to get us exactly where we needed to be at SummerSlam, and at the same time on that road, tarnished winning King of the Ring. Now we're looking at Rollins and Reigns, which is official, which was always going to be the match anyway. I don't know what people were thinking about. Oh, it's going to be Oba and Roman. Motherfucker, Roman Reigns ain't losing to anybody. The only guy Roman's going to lose to is Obafemi if they do it at WrestleMania. That's the place to do it. Why would it happen at SummerSlam? Everybody wants Oba. Oba's got to win the World Championship. What do you do when he wins the World Championship? Unless you come to me with a golden road of fucking plans for this guy for the next 12 months, I don't want to hear a fucking thing. Rollins Reigns was always going to happen. They did it. Rollins beat Breaker for that to happen. Don't know why it didn't happen in the King of the Ring final like it should have. We got Oba and Brock at SummerSlam in a Hell in the Cell. He bypassed his King of the Ring title match, his SummerSlam title match, by winning King of the Ring, and we'll do it at some other point. We got to where we expected to go. I don't know why we didn't have Seth Rollins win the King of the Ring and just say to Reigns, I'm coming after you now. At least at that point, it would have made Rollins show up in front of Roman Reigns, and he would have deserved to wrestle Roman Reigns instead of Roman telling him, go to the back of the line. You haven't done anything around here. I mean, am I fucking losing my mind? So you got Lesnar, Oba, you got Rollins, Reigns. Where does that leave Sami Zayn? That leaves Sami Zayn with one fucking guy or two guys, if you look at the fucking way things are ended up, because Jey Uso said something very, very interesting tonight. Sami Zayn is either defending the WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes or Jey Uso. And I tell you, it's not going to be Cody Rhodes. Because then that leaves a returning CM Punk to do what at SummerSlam? So we're looking at Brock, Oba, Hell in a Cell. We're looking at Rollins, Reigns. Rollins and Reigns will main event night 2. Brock and Oba, Hell in a Cell will main event night 1. Then you got Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso for the WWE Championship, which is fucking egregious. And then you got Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk, one-on-one, non-title, no frills, best man wins. You don't have the hindrance of the title being on the line. You could book it the way that you need to. You don't have the title implications fucking bearing down the creative. Punk wins. Which leads to Cody Rhodes hopefully changing his character or tweaking his character a little bit more in the months to come. But this fucking company gave us Jey Uso and Obafemi in the finals, for Jey Uso to lose the King of the Ring, to then go and get a championship match against Sami Zayn at SummerSlam if he beats Cody Rhodes on SmackDown. Bro, nobody wanted Jey Uso in the tournament to begin with. Nobody wanted Jey Uso to go all the way to the finals to begin with, and you have him lose the tournament only to then put him back in contention for a fucking WWE title? Who asked for this? Who? Jey Uso's not wrestling CM Punk. Sami Zayn's not wrestling CM Punk. Cody's not wrestling Jey Uso. None of those matches sound good to me. Maybe Sami Zayn and CM Punk. But CM Punk is not coming back to get Sami Zayn unless he does something to earn a match against Sami Zayn. Punk would never take that match because he deserves to earn a championship match. Bro, you're looking at Sami Zayn and Jey Uso for the WWE Championship, and I don't know why you aren't more upset at that than anything. That's ridiculous. The writing team is fucking terrible. Terrible. I don't know how anybody could vouch for this creative team. I don't. From day one, Lesnar and Oba, SummerSlam. Rollins, Reigns, SummerSlam. Punk, Cody, SummerSlam. Now look at what you've done. You gave Oba the King of the Ring to have him win the King of the Ring, earn a championship match at SummerSlam, which he's opted not to take because he'd rather wrestle Brock Lesnar and beat him inside Hell in a Cell and end him once and for all. Now you made the King of the Ring Money in the Bank 2.0. Rollins gets Reigns anyway because he beat Braun Breaker. It would have made more sense if he wrestled Breaker like he did on Saturday for the King of the Ring final. If you wanted them to wrestle on the show, I don't know why it wouldn't have been for the King of the Ring final. That would have given Rollins more of a deserving opportunity to wrestle Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, which he got fucking called out for by Reigns himself. No, but everybody predicted what was going to happen because the WWE product is fucking largely awful, and everybody could see what's happening a mile away. And the WWE sits there and claims that they don't pay attention to social media, but the only people who are predicting this shit live on social media. The only people fucking figuring this shit out live on social media. So they all must live on social media too, because I don't know where else they fucking heard it. Oh, we gotta show them that we're always a step ahead of them. Yet we don't matter. Oh, we very much matter. Otherwise, WWE wouldn't have fucking buried their own plans to make themselves look like fucking idiots. They insult your intelligence, and then they want to say, just have fun. You take this way too seriously. Just have fun, he says. Motherfucker, you are raising more red flags by the week, and you're asking me not to ask questions and project criticism on your fucking god-awful product. I would rather watch your show and have fun. I don't want to fucking watch your show and have my intelligence insulted, which I have very valid questions as to why you did what you did. And no, it's not for the sake of being unpredictable. It's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. King of the Ring never meant anything anyway. Here I am thinking that they're going to do right by the King of the Ring and someone's going to earn a deserved championship opportunity. Fuck that. I won King of the Ring, but I'm not going to challenge for my championship match at SummerSlam. I'm going to do something way more important to me, which is wrestle Brock Lesnar with nothing on the line. Okay. Fantastic. Just have some fun. Now I seen this other fantasy booking scenario floated around. Obafemi could beat Brock Lesnar, which more than likely he will. He could beat Brock Lesnar and then show up on Sunday night after Reigns beats Rollins, which he will, and cash in his contract and beat Roman Reigns for the World's Heavyweight Championship. Bro, I want Oba as world champion just as much as everybody else is thirsty for Oba as world champion. But WWE would be best to save it and wait. Oba winning the Royal Rumble and then going to WrestleMania to wrestle Roman Reigns is the play. That's the way to do it. Again, if you're going to give Obafemi the championship at SummerSlam in some fucking weird, convoluted, backdoor way, without an actual program being built up, which, if you're doing Oba and Roman, which at this point is a match that you should carefully construct and give time to and effort to and story to. You want to just boom, 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 get it out of the way, have Oba cash in like some fucking Money in the Bank, has been, and take the title from Roman as a babyface. Take the title from Roman, who's the biggest babyface in the company. I'm so glad those people are not booking the show. Again, I ask, if you give Obafemi the championship in some weird, convoluted, backdoor way, what exactly does he do after SummerSlam? Who does he defend the championship against? Roman Reigns? And what happens then? He beats Roman again? I want you to count on your fucking hand how many times Roman Reigns has lost in 4 years, motherfucker. Let me find out that you think Obafemi's gonna beat Roman Reigns twice in the same calendar year. Oh my God. Oh man. Absolutely delusional, man. You guys are fucking delusional. Roman ain't losing shit until we get to War Games, man. You're getting fucking 10 Samoans in a War Games cage come November, man. Roman ain't losing shit. Fuck out of here. Ridiculous. Get this guy out of my chat. This guy's back again, Satin Milk. Get him out of here, bro. Get him out of here. I remember this guy from Saturday, man. Get the fuck out of here. First of all, Satin fucking sucks. He could suck my fucking dick, Ryan Satin. And the fact that you're in here with his last name in my chat, get the fuck out of here, man. That should be a permanent banned word in the chat. Satin. Satin. Get him out. What did he say? Listen to this geek. This guy says, JD, stop fucking complaining and enjoy Brock Lesnar vs. Obafemi. Enjoy the fucking show. You know what, bro? I'll go enjoy what I enjoy, man. Get the fuck out of my chat. I enjoy kicking you out of my fucking chat room, motherfucker. Get out. Goodbye. Goodbye. Go make another burner and wait 2 weeks. You know what? I'll raise the fucking time for you to chat in here to 4 weeks now. So you have to wait 4 weeks so that you could show me how much of a fucking bum you are, waiting 4 weeks to come talk more shit in my chat, only for me to ban you again. Get out. WWE creative sucks. They suck. This show sucked. Largely, this show sucked. There was a very good Gable, JD McDonough match, but those guys can have a fucking great match with a Victoria's Secret mannequin. So I'm not really surprised. Everything else on this show was largely unentertaining. They didn't really do anything. I don't know how you guys can sit through this. Maxine Dupree versus Raquel Rodriguez. Who asked for that? Ethan Page versus Rey Mysterio was all right, but it didn't really matter to me. What does it mean? What does it mean? Oh my God, Ethan Page is disrespecting Lucha. Oh my God, didn't we just go through that? Didn't we just go through that with El Grande Americano? Now we got Ethan Page disrespecting Lucha. Man, oh man, ChatGPT just fucking continues to shell out the same old storylines, man. It's like they forgot to pay for their fucking Stage 2 subscription. This show sucked. Outside the beginning, which was hot, and the end, which was hot, because Rollins and Reigns is something that a lot of people are interested in. The Shield lore still lives on in 2026. We're going to go over the rest of this show. I want to thank you guys very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw post show for June 29th, 2026. We were live last night. I am still very tired. I don't know why I streamed. I actually regretted it waking up today. We were live for the Forbidden Door, Chore, Snore, Bore pay-per-view. A show that was saved by the last 3 matches and the last hour and a half. Tony Khan is very lucky. I see nobody talking about the show at all. At all. Outside of the returning Jay White, who's fucking great. Might have to construct something a little bit differently, man. Going live at that hour at 1 a.m., man, it's just not worth it anymore. The product is fucking dead. It's ice cold. Forbidden Door is a fucking dead concept. Half the show meant nothing. Nobody, literally nobody on this fucking platform is talking about Shota Umino and fucking Pac last night. Give me a break. Give me a break. And everybody expected Will Ospreay to win, so they went out there and had to go 30 minutes when they should have at least shaved 13 off the top. Copious amounts of blood and fucking 12 different kickouts where the match should have ended 11 different fucking times. We got to do something a little bit different, man. TNA had the best flowing show of the entire weekend. I thought Slammiversary was great. I did not watch NXT. I did not watch any pro wrestling outside of Raw today. I just couldn't. I still got to catch up on a little bit of Tony D'Angelo and Nakaru, Evil. And I want to watch Kendall Gray and Lola Vice again. And I do want to go and watch, I heard Tatum Paxley and Zarya had a very good match. So I got to watch at least some of that stuff. But I was live for the Forbidden Door pay-per-view late. We didn't get done till 3:30. So if you guys are interested in that, go check that out. It's on the homepage right here on YouTube and also on iTunes, Spotify, and all other audio platforms. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Busy Tuesday tomorrow. 2 count with the coach. Already got my 10 topics ready to go for him. He's just got to approve it. We'll talk about this big wrestling weekend that we just had. And then the main event, 8:30 p.m., I will be live with the Solid Monster for Tuesday Night Titans. We'll talk about Night of Champions. We'll talk about Forbidden Door. We'll talk about TNA. Lots to talk about. Hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Leave a super chat. It's the best way to help us out. Would really appreciate you guys chime in with the super chats. And tonight we're sponsored by Blue Chew. Blue Chew Gold. Make sure you guys go to BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout. Make sure you use that code JD. You buy 2 months of Blue Chew Gold. You get the 3rd month for free. Plus, you're going to get 10% off and free shipping on your very first order. Always want to thank them for sponsoring the show right here on Off the Script. Let's get into this show. Start at the top. Oba comes on out, and we see, first and foremost, the new King of the Ring. Atlantic City welcomed Oba Femi. He's got the crown. There was a great shot where the lights go out. He does his pose in the ring. The spotlight's on him, and he's holding the crown up, and you see nothing but the gold crown in the darkness of the arena, man. That was great. Great shot. He gets on the microphone after the crowd's chanting his name. Dies down. He says, that's good, that's fine. You see, that is a reaction, a reception befitting of a ruler. But now you have to give me a reception befitting of a king. So, ladies and gentlemen, your 2026 King of the Ring, Oba Femi. Very good, very good. I told Jey Uso that destiny was on my side. He didn't believe me until he stepped in the ring with me. Now he's a believer. But now that destiny has played out, she's not finished with me. She's still very kind to me. So, ladies and gentlemen, a choice has to be made. And Brock Lesnar's theme music hits the PA system. Out with Brock Lesnar walks Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman had a very, very interesting interaction with the Vision tonight. Well, the Vision wasn't even there. Austin Theory was the only member of the Vision there. But it was still a very interesting interaction. One that I hope really removes Paul Heyman from everything Vision related. Brock Lesnar comes on out. He walks down the aisle, does his thing. He walks around the ring. He's slapping some hands. He gets in the ring. Paul Heyman's in the ring with him. Ladies and gentlemen, your King of the Ring, Oba Femi. My apologies, Oba. I have not watched the show. Everybody knows I don't watch the show. But congratulations. That's a hell of a feat, winning King of the Ring. Brock having a good time out there, man, letting everybody know exactly what's going on. He doesn't watch the show, and I don't blame him. The show sucks. Why would he waste time watching this show? Just pay me. You know, I was king of the ring at one time, a long time ago. Now, because I don't watch the show, I got to rely on Mr. Heyman over here, and Mr. Heyman tells me that you got a pretty big decision to make. Maybe I can help you with that decision. Paul also tells me that you're very good at calling names, like when I'm not here. So when I'm not here, you call Brock Lesnar a bitch, and you call Brock Lesnar a coward. He also tells me that you cut a great promo, which I never really could, which is why I have Mr. Heyman next to me. But Oba, you know what they say, talk shit, get hit. And then Brock delivers a low blow right to the dick. Kicks him in the dick. And he drops Obafemi with an F5. Heyman gives Prop a little clap. And then he says, that was one hell of a promo. That was one hell of a promo. So he walks away. He's halfway up the aisleway. Oba asks for a microphone. He gets to his feet, selling the low blow. Hey, this is exactly what you always do. You show up, you F5, and you leave. Yes, that was legitimately what it said on the t-shirt. Thank you for noticing, Oba. And you said I called you names behind your back. Well, guess what? You're in front of me, and you're still a bitch. So here's the deal. We can play cats and rats forever, or we can settle the score. Me and you, one-on-one, Obafemi, Brock Lesnar, SummerSlam. What's it going to be? Brock Lesnar says, I accept. But I got one condition, Oba. I'm going to one-up you. SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar, Obafemi, Minneapolis. Hell in a Cell. It got a great reaction, as you would expect, because we haven't seen a Hell in a Cell in a while. Best thing WWE did was eliminate that from the yearly pay-per-view calendar. Match was made official right then and there. Coming out of the commercial, Paul Heyman's telling Adam Pearce he's losing money if he's not printing out t-shirts for Brock Lesnar vs. Obafemi inside Hell in a Cell at SummerSlam. Pearce just wanted a heads up. Heyman says that SummerSlam has the match of all matches in the main event of SummerSlam. Adam Pearce is completely speechless as Heyman continues to do this sales pitch about this match being official. Austin Theory joins in, and he stops him from talking to Adam Pearce, and he says, I can't believe that you're here. I got a match tonight. I want you to come down to the ring with me. I didn't know that you were going to be in the building tonight. He looks at Theory and says, you didn't know I was going to be in the building tonight. Well, now you know. And he walked away. Theory is confused. Heyman did not walk out with Austin Theory later in the night. And Pearce walks up to Obafemi after this interaction and says, titles will always be there. He'll take it when he wants it. Obafemi is 100% sure he wants to fight Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell. He tells Adam Pearce that he needs to end Brock, and he's going to forego his shot at the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship for the time being. I don't really need to go over exactly what I went over. I can't express it any better. All I will say is if this was your plan, if Oba and Brock was your plan, I don't know why we needed to have him win King of the Ring, to forego his opportunity, turn it into a de facto Money in the Bank, and then have Rollins go out there to ask for a championship match against Roman Reigns, where Roman belittled him and said, no, get to the back of the line. You don't deserve anything, and you haven't done anything to prove that you're worthy to be in the same ring as the tribal chief. Bro, all of these things could have been avoided. Brock could have cost Oba the second round against Braun. Braun could have went on to the finals to wrestle Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins could have ended Braun Breaker in Saudi Arabia like he did on Saturday inside the steel cage. Instead, in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament, it would have ended the feud, and you would have gotten Seth Rollins to win the King of the Ring so he could show up on Monday in Atlantic City and confront Roman Reigns about challenging him at SummerSlam for the World's Heavyweight Championship. Meanwhile, Oba can have Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam inside Hell in a Cell, because a Hell in a Cell stipulation would be worthy in this case for Brock costing Oba the King of the Ring tournament. I don't know why they convoluted everything, outside of the fact that they felt like they were keeping fans on their toes. They tried to make it unpredictable, and they tried to sway the online internet audience from knowing everything. Meanwhile, they want to criticize us for being too critical of the show, for taking the show too seriously. We need to have fun. Meanwhile, we're the first people that they end up listening to, for better or worse. Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? 5 weeks ago, I called all this. 5 weeks ago, I told you exactly how the King of the Ring should end up. And still, to this day, where we sit right now, the way that I pitched it is the best way that it should have turned out. And WWE tried to sway us and do something else completely while getting us to the same destination that I told you about 5 weeks ago. There's a reason why we are damn good at what we do. I'm not the smartest in the community, and I'm not the best in the community. But man, I know my shit. Nobody should ever come here and tell me I don't know my shit. I very much do. Ethan Page. He goes one-on-one with Rey Mysterio. Page is trying to rip Rey's mask off. Apparently, what we have here is Ethan Page is targeting Rey's mask and trying to disrespect the Lucha tradition. Somebody in the chat said he also did this in NXT, so we're just running the same gimmick back on the main roster, because I guess his NXT career really doesn't matter. We'll pick it up after the commercial break. Page to the side suplex on Rey Mysterio on the top turnbuckle, which he bounced out to the floor on. Page sent Mysterio into the turnbuckles head first, dumped him with a side suplex. Page charged at Rey. Low bridge. He goes out to the floor. Rey followed with his sliding splash. Rey Mysterio hits a big move off the top rope. Goes off the ropes again with the crossbody. Goes for a cover. Gets a near fall. Page gets up. He dumps Rey Mysterio face first on the mat with a suplex. Mysterio caught Page with an enziguri. Page came back with a great sounding and a great looking big boot. And a power slam, which he kind of botched, but fixed it mid-rotation. Page then picked up Mysterio in a big fireman's carry, walked up the middle rope. Rey, he countered Page in whatever he was planning to do, took him down with a big Hurricane Rana off the top rope. 619, Mysterio hits the frog splash. 1, 2, 3. He pins Ethan Page in 7 minutes. Because this went 10 minutes and we got 3 minutes of commercial. Basically it. I don't know what this means for Rey Mysterio, where he's going to factor into things, where this takes Ethan Page, because I know he wants the Intercontinental Championship. We haven't seen Ethan Page and Rusev on TV for a couple weeks. Maybe WWE got bored. Maybe they got tired of that relationship, that partnership there. I don't know. You know who I can't wait to have back on TV? Sheamus. It's got me thinking a lot about Sheamus. IC title going on right now. Sheamus chasing the IC title. I miss Sheamus. Banger after banger. Can't find anybody more consistent than Sheamus. JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio. They walk into Danhausen's laboratory. Apparently they want to get their money back, and they're making a big deal about Danhausen taking $100,000 from them. I mean, I would be too. McDonough says that he needs to get uncursed because he has a match tonight against Chad Gable. Mysterio tells J.D. McDonough, relax, it ain't real. He then says that it would be better to make Danhausen come to them, so let's steal the gift that he got from the New York Knicks, which is basically a New York Knicks jersey with his name on the back of the jersey. And then they ended up trashing, which we didn't physically see, ended up trashing Danhausen's laboratory. So we go from the Judgment Day doing what they need to do to now feuding with Danhausen. Interesting change of events. Joe Hendry. We're in for a Joe Hendry concert here because WWE doesn't know any better with Joe Hendry. You know, I remember when WWE so desperately wanted Joe Hendry. I mean, they wanted him all over their television show. They even gave him a WrestleMania Open Challenge against Randy Orton as the TNA World Champion. Used him on NXT. They even swayed him away months before his actual contract in TNA was up. Signed into a WWE deal. What do they do with him? They gave him a run with the championship down in NXT. Then they call him up to the main roster, and he's nothing more than the Scottish version of Elias. Every week is a fucking different song. Every week is a rock concert. Is this all we know how to do? It's basically Elias all over again. Meanwhile, I watched TNA on Sunday afternoon, and Elijah, Ezekiel, whatever you want to call him, Elias, he had a pretty good match with AJ Francis, of all fucking people. Who's better off, Elias or Joe Hendry? You make the choice. Say his name, because he has appeared. Now, who's ready for a Joe Hendry concert? Now, we can't get started until we introduce our special guests. So I want everybody to make some noise for the Street Profits. So Montez and Angelo Dawkins come out there. Montez gets in the ring. We got Montez on one side, Angelo Dawkins on the other. Don't I look good in a suit, says Montez. But WWE Universe, we are so overwhelmed with the support and love you have showed us the last week. Now the love is unexpected, and that is the reason why we have a few people to thank. First of all, the WWE Universe. Then they go on and thank the visionary. You may know him as the revolutionary, and this industry knows him as the greatest of all time on this mat. I'm talking about Seth freaking Rollins. I mean, that may be a little bit of a stretch, but we'll give Rollins our praise later when we get to his promo with Roman Reigns. Montez says, and last but not least, Atlantic City, we got to thank the main man you came to see tonight, Joe Hendry. Because Joe, last week in the Tag Team Championship match, it was beautiful. It was Docs, it was me, it was you, it was Seth, it was the WWE Universe. It was like a beautiful song. We got a new Tag Team Champion, says Joe Hendry. Everyone please make some noise. We're in Atlantic City, a celebration with all the boys. There will be no Braun Breaker, and we won't hear Logan talk. There will be no Paul Heyman, because he's occupied with Brock Lesnar. And then there's Austin Theory. Austin Theory cries himself to sleep at night since John Cena destroyed him on the mic. Now he's in the vision, and no one cares. He sang this as he strummed his acoustic guitar. Austin Theory interrupts this woefully painful concert. Cut the music, cut the music. Well, looks like we got the thieves in the ring that stole my tag team championships. And what was that, Joe? You mentioned John Cena. You mean the same John Cena that I beat at WrestleMania? Which ultimately led to nothing because you were promptly buried. And all of y'all out here jumping around, being excited and celebrating, but I'm a little confused. Maybe it's because I know something that you don't. I've already talked to Adam Pearce, and next week there's going to be a rematch for those tag team championships. Oh, great. There's no other teams in the division. I mean, who else would they defend the titles against? Angelo Dawkins, I mean, if that's what you really want,